All right, one second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I like where this is going.
Oh, well, this is good.
Okay. That better be a Starburst pop and not a Tootsie Pop.
This is a grape Tootsie Roll pop.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I can tell you want to dive right in and disagree with me.
This is good.
I seem to have hit a nerve on my Twitter this week. Mandy came home from the store with a yellow bag that says Starburst on it, and I like Starburst. So I just thought they were going to be Starburst, but no, these were Starburst flavored. What do you even call these? I don't even know what the official name of these things are. Starburst Pops.
Starburst Pops.
And as the name implies, this is a lollipop that then has a Starburst inside of it, as opposed to a Tootsie Pop that has a Tootsie Roll, or a Blow Pop that has like really bad gum. Now, I said that I think that these are better than gross Tootsie Rolls, Tootsie Roll Pops, because I think Tootsie Rolls are gross. We did the candy tier. You can go back and listen to it. I'm not even sure that even came up.
I'm not sure it did either.
I have like a vague memory that it might have, because I think we talked specifically about flavored Tootsie Pops.
Yes, that could be yes.
I feel like that's a thing that we talked about. You seem to have disagreed with this sentiment, and you are. There's really no other way to say it, mocking me on the podcast tonight.
A little bit.
So
yeah.
Well, okay, but why? Why there? Okay. Maybe this is a negative association problem that I have, but when I was little, I used to have to get allergy shots. And we used to go to a downtown in my hometown, doctor's office to get allergy shots. And I remember the only thing that was interesting there for a 7-year-old was Highlights magazine, and they had a bowl of Tootsie Pops.
Oh, okay.
And every time I saw a Tootsie Pop, I just thought it was a blow pop, or it was something pretending to be a blow pop. I think Tootsie Rolls are gross. I don't think they have a right to exist. I just don't think it's very good candy. I don't care what you really wrap around it. Now, I will say that the lollipop portion of a Tootsie Pop is good, especially I'm a big fan of grape. Big fan
it's
of
really
grape.
good. Having it right now.
But they're not good. So you went out and actually bought some of these for this podcast?
No. We had some Tootsie Pops in the house, so I'd grab one of those.
Now, why do you think that is? Do you think that they were in the house because no one else likes them but you?
No, everybody likes them.
No.
Yes,
not everybody.
Everybody in my house, at least. They're good.
Did you get some of the Starburst ones, though?
Yes.
What do you think?
They are also very good.
They are also very good. I will say this, though. I don't necessarily think the thing at the center is a Starburst.
No, it's the textures. The flavor is the same. The texture is different.
See, I don't even think the flavor's there. I think your taste buds are totally fried.
Maybe.
Because the lollipop is the flavor of the Starburst. And after that goes away, whatever that chewy thing is in the middle has no flavor to me. Maybe that's just my weird ass taste buds, but it has no flavor. It's very chewy, and I like it. But the lollipops are phenomenal.
All right, I probably should stop eating this on the podcast.
No. By all means.
No, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna enjoy it afterwards. It's gonna sit here.
Ooh, it's gonna sit there and collect dust all this whole time. What if you fart? It's gonna get your farts.
It's okay. It's okay, Drew.
Oh my god.
Those risks I'm gonna take. There we go.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Oh, you're gonna get pink eye from that.
You know what? The one thing I don't like about the Starburst Pops, I find the color of the stick to be unsettling.
It's yellow.
Yeah, not like a bright yellow. Like,
no,
we accidentally got this soaked in something, but we're gonna give it to you anyway. Sort of yellow.
Yeah. We were making the yellow ones and all and oops, all sticks. Yeah. Right. Like just. Yeah, I don't like that it's yellow either.
No, it's unsettling. Yeah.
And do you think that's a design choice just because yellow is canonical Starburst?
I think so. Yeah, they wanted to invoke the memory of the yellow Starburst bag, but it's not. It is like a dingy yellow color.
It is a very dingy yellow.
It's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go on record saying that both Tootsie Rolls, as long as they are fresh, they get stale and nasty. So if you have a good Tootsie Roll, those are delicious. And a Tootsie Pop is also very good.
So if you had a hankering, let's just indulge me here for a minute. If you had a hankering for a Tootsie Pop, Tootsie Pops obviously come, or not Tootsie Pops, Tootsie Rolls come in a lot of different sizes. The little bite-sized ones, I think, are probably the most common.
Yes.
But then they have slightly bigger ones. And I've even seen like giant tubular ones, which I don't know how anybody eats that.
I've eaten those before. Yeah.
Like in one sitting?
Of course.
That's a meal, my dude.
I mean, I can eat candy, so I mean,
I can too.
Yeah,
but that's so much. It's so much bad chocolate.
Oh, but it's good. You can't think of it as chocolate. You have to think of it as its own thing. It's a Tootsie Pop.
But it's designed to be chocolate.
Yeah,
you're saying it's not chocolate. It's more chocolate adjacent.
Yeah, chocolate adjacent. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know if that makes it better, my guy.
It just makes it different. Oh.
I mean, listen, I do like the flavored ones, like the vanilla, the lemon. I think the lemon ones.
I like the vanilla. I think those are my favorite. Yeah.
I just like that there's something other than that pretend chocolate flavor. That's the problem I have with it. I just don't think that it's a very good treat that sort of stands on its own. I think that's why we try to gussy it up with a lollipop or, put these other flavors in it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Couple quick little notes here. I want to issue an apology and a correction from last episode.
Ooh.
I got on one of my, patented pop-off graphic cards discussions. And at some point during the discussion, I kept saying 3000 series when I really meant the 4000 series of graphics cards.
Well,
I don't know.
I also did that. I made that mistake too. So yeah, it's okay.
And I listened back to it and I heard that. I'm like, ugh, rookie mistake. So I really meant what I was really talking about there was the 4000 series. It looks like kind of following the news here because we are a little under 2 weeks away from launch. It looks like most of them are launching at MSRP.
Really? Okay.
Again, I have no idea how hard they will be able to get or anything. The one particular model I'm looking at is roughly $1,700 because it's one of those integrated cooling solutions. And
okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember they retail for like $1,599 or something.
True. That's still expensive.
Yeah. But that's the one I'm looking at, and I have no idea if it'll be one that I can even get or find, or even if I will, because I've got brother, I got other expenses right now. But yeah, I just want to issue that quick apology. Oh, while we're here, the recent AMD chips launched.
Okay.
A little bit of follow up there.
What did you buy?
I didn't buy anything.
Oh, yet. Okay.
I've been watching the reviews. It looks like they run very, very hot. You actually need a bit of power supply headroom for them to function correctly.
Okay.
And as we discussed on this very show, right, it is, if you were going to go down this rabbit hole, you need a whole new motherboard, you need memory. Micro Center, and I found that this was very interesting. Micro Center has a deal going on right now that if you purchase one of the new Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 7000 series, they will give you 32 gigs of free DDR5 memory. Yeah, that is roughly $200 worth of memory.
Wow.
And what's interesting is, unlike the previous Ryzen launches, these all are very gettable. Looking at the Micro Center site right now, it looks like all of the qualifying Ryzen 7 and Ryzen 9 processors are available. It says 25 in stock across the board. So they're very gettable, unlike the last ones. I think people were mostly holding off to I think that the high operating temperature is something that scares people away because unlike other processors that just run hot and you need to up your cooling solutions for, these are designed to basically get to their max temperature and try to stay there as long as possible. So I was reading and watching some of the reviews, and they're like, listen, don't even attempt this unless you have like a 360 millimeter radiator, all-in-one cooler, or your own custom loop. Like that is what these things are sort of flowing at right now. So that puts me off a little bit. I mean, I like that they're, the newer architecture, faster memory, all that other stuff. But I'm probably going to wait. I'm probably going to wait. I think that basically has made me consider purchasing the graphics card over investing in the new thing.
Okay.
But go read reviews about it. I won't even try to go into like the technical details about it. There's a lot of good reviews out there about it. But AMD is, they stole the performance crown back. This is how this works. Intel had their latest press conference where they're going to have their next one coming out and it's going to steal it back, and it's just the way this works. So but currently AMD stole the crown away from Intel. Another piece of follow-up. I finally got my replacement kit for my all-in-one cooler. You may recall I fell into a particular product alert for my Arctic liquid freezer all-in-one cooler. I found out about it from the internet. But what was interesting was the day after I got this, and granted, I filled out the form to get this probably 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So they must have had to mail out a ton of these. What's interesting is I got an email from Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, and I found that this was very interesting. Let me see if I can find the email real quick. Arctic. Yeah. So I got this email from Amazon. You have received a message from the Amazon seller Arctic Incorporated, because they actually sell, like Arctic has their own store on Amazon, and they basically blasted out an email because I guess that, of course, I knew this because I did all this research, that I fell into this potential product thing, but I received this. I received this after I had received my kit, which I filled out for 3 weeks ago. So I don't know why it took them so long to do a mail merge, but I just thought it was very funny that I got that email from Amazon way after this. The kit itself it looks pretty straightforward. I have not put it together yet, just because I haven't had my computer apart. It was one of those things where I was like, I might need to replace the whole cooler if I get a new AMD thing. So I'm just going to wait it out and see what I do. And now that I've decided that that's not going to be a thing, I will probably take it apart and fix it maybe next weekend, or maybe when I have it apart, if I can get my 4090. But anyway, to be continued on that. I just thought that was interesting. Let's change it up because I want to tell you all about stuff that I did.
Okay.
This came up after you and I were done recording last week. That you have been going to band competitions.
Yes.
As someone who's never been in band.
Okay.
As someone who, to my knowledge, no one in my family has been in band. This is very interesting to me. Now, I kind of want to hear about how a band competition works. Okay. And I'm assuming that you did band competitions.
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're familiar with how they work, and this is all about Zach and his thing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
The floor is yours. Fill me in on this because I really want to understand this.
So my son, he's in marching band, and they're basically, there's two types of marching bands. There is what is known as festival bands, and they do parades and they do football games and pep rallies and stuff like that. And then there are competition bands, and those bands do all that other stuff as well. But their main focus is developing a show and performing that show in front of judges. Ow! I just hit my knee on my desk. That really hurt. Ow!
That's good. It's good radio.
Ow! That hurt.
You need a minute?
No, I'm good. They compete. They compete for ratings. So there's like rating. There's like superior, excellent, good, and then I don't know, poopy. No one ever gets that rating. If you compete and get a superior rating, then you get to go to state, where you get to do the whole thing again for, I don't know, better judges. And they also compete against other other bands for awards. So they kind of break down the bands by it's actually not by the size of the band, it's by the size of the school. So the smaller schools are in C, and there's B, A, and the biggest schools are double A.
Okay.
Zachary's school, they're firmly in A, though there's a very distinct possibility that they'll be in double A next year. And there's various awards, like there's class awards. So like there's, best percussion in your class, best auxiliary. So auxiliary is like the people that wave flags around and like do stuff like that. There's best visual performance, which is basically how well it looked, like how well the marching was. If you had like special stuff, because some bands like go all out and have like props and stuff, it gets real crazy. Best percussion, best auxiliary, visual, best music, and then there's like best overall, and then there'll be like like awards that span all of the classes, right? And the top of those is grand champion, right? The best band that was there. My son, they competed in 2 competitions so far. The very first one they did, they cleaned house. They won every award except for like best overall visual. They were grand champions. It was really nice to see that. The second competition was weird. So it was a bigger competition. There was more more A and double A bands. And usually like the double A bands, they're usually bigger. They have bigger budgets. They have, they have more, they just go out all over the top. Where my son goes to school, they're more conservative, I would say, with like their overall presentation. But what they really focus on is they go for music that is hard to play. So more difficult music, and the music category actually counts double for like the overall scores. So they usually go for like, hey, if we can win music, then we have a good chance of winning everything. There was another band in a Bern Union, and they cleaned up Class A completely. So Taze Valley was second place in Class A. But they also won what is called Reserve Grand Champion, which is basically second place. So they were second place overall. Yeah, it's a good time. Like, you go out there and, they start with the smaller bands. So they'll do the Class C, then the Class B, and then A, and then double A. And then there's a big award ceremony at the end. And, for the schools that host it, it's really a big fundraiser, right? They'll collect ticket sales, 50-50 raffle sometimes, concession stands, you name it. They're there to collect money. So it's good to support, bands, right? It's good. Like, bands are good. Yeah, and at the end, all of the kids in the host band, usually it's like the seniors, they'll do all the award presentations and stuff. Yeah, it's fun. Like we usually, the for my son Zach, like really, it's a whole day. It's a whole. They make a whole day out of the whole thing. Like he'll leave at like 8:30 in the morning and meet up with his other bandmates and have breakfast. Like they'll go to Bob Evans and they'll have breakfast, and then they go to the band room and, they get everything ready and they polish their instruments. And then, then there's a time they're actually supposed to be there and they get everything together, and maybe they'll run through a practice, or maybe they'll just, maybe they'll go outside and march for a bit. Maybe they'll just practice some music or whatever. The band director gets them all hyped up. They get their uniforms, they get on the bus, they drive to the competition. Usually, like, they eat a meal when they get there. So like all of the band parents like pack lunches, like sack lunches for them, sack meals, whatever, sandwiches, good old peanut butter and jelly sandos. Except for the kids who can't eat peanut butter, they get meat sandwiches, which I think is a disservice. Everybody should get a meat sandwich because that's much better. And then they perform depending on what time they are, what time they're done. They'll usually go and maybe get to see some of the last bands of the day, and watch some of those. It's a whole big day. It's fun, Drew. It's fun.
So you didn't. So before I jump into my other questions, didn't you have something to do to prepare for sandwiches or treats for the kids?
Yes. So we got nominated. Speaking of those meat sandwiches, we're the family that prepares the meat sandwiches. So we pack and prepare 12 sacked lunches with lunch meat in them. And it's funny, like their band director, she runs a pretty tight ship. So there's very explicit instructions about what, and more importantly, what not to put in a lunch. Because they'll probably be eating this lunch while wearing like the bottom half of their uniform. There is to be no Cheetos, nothing with dust. Nothing, chips that would make a mess.
But
I know,
but dust flavored chips are the best chips.
They are. We have to also send like a beverage, and she prefers the white or clear Gatorades because she doesn't want anything to stain. So it's basically water and like whatever that white flavor of Gatorade is.
Glacier. It's made with real glaciers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you have to send. But it's my wife goes absolutely over the top. She'll go out and like hunt dollar stores and stuff to find like little toys. She'll put like little like squishy toys and maybe some glow sticks in there. She decorates all the bags. This year, I don't know if you're familiar with the book /musical movie Dear Evan Hansen.
I am aware of it. I have not seen it.
Same, but all the music is from that. So my wife will write like little like quotes from the movie and stuff on there. And the movie's all about like, hey, it's gonna be a good day. You're good enough. Crap, damn it. So it's a whole big thing for us too, because we have to pack the lunches and make sure those get delivered to the school, and then make our way out to wherever they're performing. It's good times, and like they're doing pretty good this year. They've won one competition, came second place in a much bigger competition. So yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. It's fun.
So okay, so that leads me to my first question. They have all these, I hate to say rules. I mean, polite suggestions about what you should and shouldn't put in these lunches.
Yes.
Is that because the kids don't own these uniforms?
That is exactly it. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So basically, like the uniforms go back at the end of the year.
They go back at the end of every performance. The uniforms do not come home.
How do they stay clean?
The only thing that comes home is like gloves and shoes. The wonderful band boosters and all the parents, they help the kids get their uniform, hang everything back up, make sure it is clean, and I believe like if there's a problem, they get dry cleaned.
I see. Okay, so they go to these competitions. Now, based on how you were describing the layout and how it works, every band chooses their own music, or is there a certain number of songs that they can pick from, like a pool?
No. Drew, no. The common thing, the common practice is you hire somebody to arrange your music. So you get someone to to write the songs for you, and oftentimes, like, there's a theme, and they'll do arrangements of existing songs, like, we're doing Dear Evan Hansen. uh ev- there's always a band who's doing music from Queen. I'm so over Queen. It's overdone. It's overdone.
Yeah, sure
Then
is.
you also hire somebody to design your charts, right? And that's like the marching part, like where you go. So
Right.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it is it is not only an audio experience, it is a visual experience, because they're marching lockstep, and they might draw like a funny like penis on the football field. No, not that.
Not a lot of that.
Not
a lot
that.
of that. Yeah.
Not a lot of that. Okay,
Yeah,
they'll draw something on the field.
Yeah, I mean, and there is rules, like the performance has to be longer than 7 minutes, but no longer than 13 minutes. The whole thing from like when you step on the field until you're off can't be any longer than 15 minutes. The drum majors have to salute the judges at some point. Yeah, but other than that, there's really not a whole lot of there may be more rules that I'm not aware of, but those are really the big ones. Yeah.
So okay, so Drew up here in Dublin is the band director, and Paul is the band director down in your school district. So we put our heads, when I say we, like everybody here at this school district puts their heads together and says, okay, so this is the arrangement we're going to do. These are the songs we're going to do. This is the order that we're going to move around the field. And then your school does that. And then on a game day or whatever, the jamboree or whatever they call these things, like they all get together, you do your thing. Where do the judges come from?
So the judges, there's an organization called OMEA, Ohio Music Educators Association. A lot of them are like retired school teachers, or they can be other directors, but they can't be a director for the schools that are competing, because bias and stuff like that. So there's a pool of judges that do that stuff. And there is rules, because, like, for example, my son takes private lessons, and one of the person he takes private lessons from is actually a retired band teacher from the school district my wife works in, right? He is also an OEMA judge, but he has to make sure that he recuses himself from anything that Zachary would be competing in.
I see.
Because he teaches him. So everything has to be above board, and no conflict of interest or anything like that. So yeah. And then usually what they do, like if you're ever at like a high school football stadium, there's always that, thing on the top of the home stands where, like, I don't know, the guy who talks into the, the PA system and whatever, they're up there. The judges will sit up there, except for the percussion judge. They're the only judges that are down on the field and actually allowed to go onto the field.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's is there some sort of science to that, or?
That's a good question, Drew.
Okay.
They did.
Interesting.
They get close. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, okay. So you go to these different competitions. Are they mostly local, or could it be anywhere in Ohio?
Within a couple hours, really. That's the distance. And you could go anywhere you want, really. It's just I think there's a limit of the number of competitions you're allowed to. It's like, all of the bands are trying to reach state, right? And they do that by getting a superior overall ranking. I think you can only do 4 attempts to get into state, so you can only really compete in 4 competitions a year. Plus, if you host a competition, if you host a competition, you're allowed to compete for ratings. You're just not allowed to compete for like trophies and stuff like that.
Got it.
So there's basically 4. I think that you're allowed to, 4 attempts, 4 cracks, 4 cracks at the bat. That's not a sports thing. 4 attempts, 4 swings, 4
swings.
downs.
Yep, you get 4 strikes.
Yes,
yep,
exactly.
Is there something beyond states?
No. Nope.
There's not like some national conference that
No.
they get to go to?
No. No.
Interesting.
Nope.
Now, are there? This is all mostly confined to school bands. Are there like free agents? Like, can you have? Could you just go like make your own band?
I,
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I don't think so.
Let me try this a different way. Let me try this a different way. Like sometimes small private schools might put together like a football team. Can they do that for a band? Maybe.
I'm guessing they probably could. Yeah. Yeah. Not that I have never seen that, but I can't imagine it would be against the rules. I mean, most of the bands, I think the bands we compete against are all public schools.
Well, I feel like that's probably. I mean, because it has to be very expensive to field a band.
It can
probably
be,
probably just as much to field a football team, right? When you factor in the logistics and the
and
and
like there are they have to make sure that like Zachary, he plays the trumpet, he provides his own trumpet,
right?
But there are certain instruments that like a marching tuba or an instrument like a mellophone, they're just. And all the percussion stuff, all the front line, like all the xylophones and marimbas and amps and all that wonderful crap. So
that's the schools.
Exactly, the school buys all of those and provides that as well. So and like the band, they own a couple of trailers to haul all the stuff around. Yeah, it's expensive.
Now your school has already gotten a superior rating.
2, in fact, yes.
So how do you get the states then? You just need 1 to basically enter the tournament, or
and state is really not like when you're at basically if you get one overall superior rating, because basically like you'll get like a rating for music, visual performance, auxiliary, percussion, general effect, just stuff like that. And then they basically like combine all of your scores together to get a final score. If you get an overall superior, you qualify for state. You just need one of those. And when you go to state, like you're not competing against any other bands, right? There's no trophies, there's no competition or anything like that. You just go and you get another rating. Woo!
So no one wins states?
No. And the weird thing is because there are so many schools and so many bands that qualify, state competition will actually take place over multiple weekends in multiple locations. So there'll be like 12 different places where you could go to do your final state competition.
Oh God.
Oh no.
God. I'm so okay. Hold on. I had to physically get up and move around. Okay. I want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you get your S ranks for superior ranks.
Mm-hmm.
You get invited to states, but no one wins states.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why do this?
Mm-hmm.
You can't win. There's no winner.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do is you get your rating at state. You're trying to get a superior rating at state. Now, granted, like in these other competitions, right? There's trophies, right? Like,
sure,
like you're taking home hardware, right? It's
right.
But at state, nope.
So there could be like you said, it could be spread out across multiple weekends where you get together for the big state meet. But no one's gonna win. There's no trophies.
No, there's no.
There's not like most improved or like band class clown or nothing.
Nope.
Oh my God, these poor kids.
You go there, you get your rating, and that's it. Like you're. Yeah.
So like if I'm a prospective student, who wants to go out for band, hey, if we didn't win state, but we got an S at states, like that's it.
You did it. Yeah. I meet my sucker again, by the way. I couldn't resist.
No, I don't blame you. I don't want it. I don't want it to get diseased. I don't want you to eat a diseased sucker over there. I'm very confused by this. Someone has to win. Like there has of all the best bands, there has to be a bestest band.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I did. if you had asked me, if you had told me to come in blind and say, Drew, write 6 paragraphs about how you think band competitions work, it would have never in my million years ever thought it worked like that.
Yeah, it's
those poor kids.
Yeah, it's just what you get. No, I think
love of the game, I guess.
You get like a medal or a certificate or something if you get a superior at state, or you get something. I think they get a medal.
Okay, so they get something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but no one has bragging rights of like
exactly.
the best band in the state.
In the state competition, you are just competing with yourself. You're not competing with other bands. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I was the governor, that's something I might look into. Someone has to win the band.
That's not how it works.
Someone has to win the band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they will win the band.
Okay.
Title.
That's not how it works.
So how many competitions have you guys done this year so far now?
2. Oh, 2.
You got 2 more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This weekend, they were off this weekend because it's homecoming in our school district.
Sure.
Next weekend is the band competition that they host, and then they'll have one more after that. Yeah. Then state.
So is that on a Friday?
A Saturday.
It's on a Saturday. Maybe I'll come down for that.
I will not be there because I will be working.
Ooh. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know why.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That sucks, buddy.
Yeah. But if you want to go see, it's at Tays Valley High School. It'll start in the afternoon.
I love your family to death, but I'm there for you, buddy.
Okay. Yep.
Let me just be 100% real about this. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
So Zachary has done. So he's into it, obviously.
Oh, very much so. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. He's digging being a part of the band.
Yeah. He likes band. He does. He likes band. All of his, not all, but most of his friends are band. From the band.
I think that's how that naturally works.
Yep. It makes sense. They spend a lot of time. There's one period a day with these kids all the time, and then after school practices and sectionals and football games and all that stuff. So yeah, you spend a lot of time with these people.
So does marching band have chairs? Like, in other words, like your first chair trumpet. Okay,
so yes. There'll be like first and second parts for a lot of things. So how do I explain this? So there's really 2 halves to the school year for the band, right? There's marching band at the beginning, and then there's concert band at the second part, and that's more of just sitting in a chair playing songs kind of thing. For that part, they introduced the notion of like challenging, right? So like everyone gets ranked from the best to the worst. And if you think you're better than the person that's ahead of you, you can challenge them and take their spot and move your way up.
Oh, wow. Like you could just throw down a gauntlet in class and be like, trumpet off. Let's go.
Exactly.
Oh, damn, son.
In marching band, that does not exist. They basically just, the director assigns everybody, there's a group of like student leaders who make sure that, everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing and stuff like that. So that doesn't exist in the marching season, but in the concert half, it's very much it gets more competitive. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, as I understand it, once the fall football season is over, a portion of the band can go to basketball games.
Yes. So that is usually done by there's like a pep band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they can do that. My son did not do that.
Is that something Zach wants to do?
I believe so. He's also in jazz band this year.
Jazz band.
Which is jazz band is when I was in school, jazz band was something you just did after school. Jazz band in Tays Valley is a class. So first of all, you have to audition. You have to audition for the jazz band and you have to get in. Not everybody who auditions gets in.
That's the way that works.
And then you basically have another period of band every day. And not only do they learn to play jazz, but they learn some music theory, and they learn about, a class, maybe they listen to some albums and talk about it, and, talk about the history of music and stuff like that. So it's more comprehensive than just, playing some songs. But he also enjoys that. So yeah.
Yeah, the history of jazz class that I took in college I thought was going to be an easy credit. It was not an easy credit. But it was actually really interesting. I had a whole appreciation for that style of music and how complex it can be.
Yep.
Okay, so that's cool. So he's basically like the band boy.
He is. Yes, he's very much band boy. Yep.
He is the band boy. Mm-hmm. Now Arabelle, on the other hand, she's still lugging around the French horn on the bus.
Yes, she is.
Is she gonna go that route too? Like she wants to get in the marching band when she gets to high school, or
yes, she's going to do marching band when she gets to high school. They do not march French horns, obviously.
Well, that seems
I guess not obviously, but they do not march those. So the French horn players will play what is called a mellophone.
Okay.
Let's see if I can mellophone. Helps if I spell it right. Mellophone.
I gave it a whirl in the doc, and that's how it's going to show up in the show notes.
Yeah. Almost. It's a mellophone.
Mellophone.
Apparently. Mellophone. It is basically think of a large oversized trumpet. Yes.
A lot of trumpet players in that Baylor household.
So mellophones typically they're in that same kind of pitch range as a French horn, but obviously the bell faces forward so you can march with it. They're bigger, but yeah, it's basically, it's not like you learn how to play a French horn, you can play a mellophone. No, all the fingerings are different, so they basically have to learn another instrument.
Hey, I know you've been practicing, practicing mastery of this. Do this instead.
Exactly. Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. So.
Oh my God.
They typically.
Why don't they march French horn? Like, why? Is it because they're so big and heavy, or expensive? Like, what's the?
So, a French horn to really hold, you need to kind of rest it against your leg, and that's something that you can do when you march. And also, the bell doesn't face forward. Like when you play it, the bell faces off to the side. So that makes it hard in a marching because you want the bell of the instrument to face forward. So
you mean like you make the big scoop?
Yes, exactly.
The big scoop that the noise comes out.
Yes, the big hole in the instrument where the dutes come out. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, have you seen the new game that's like Guitar Hero for trombone?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Here. Sorry, I don't know why my brain went to this, but it's called Trombone Champ. Like, watch the video.
How do you play this?
I don't know. I think you just use your mouse.
Is there a plastic horn you can buy? Oh my God.
I really want to try it, but if you like watch the video. It's hilarious. I don't know what the deal with the horses is in the video.
I don't either. Oh my
choose
God.
your tromboner.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's where my head went. Because the bell's facing out on that one.
How do you play this?
I don't know, but I want to play it.
Well, Zach's about to get gifted Trombone Champ. All right, that'll be something I do as soon as I'm done here. Yep.
Okay. Oh my God. I don't know. I had another question, but I can't remember what it is now. Crap. This has been enlightening.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you're very proud.
Yeah.
This is something that you do. This is something that you did when you were in high school. Yes.
Yes. I was a percussionist. Yes.
Yes. Is it fair to say that percussionists have the hardest job in band?
They sure like to think so.
As someone who roomed with a percussionist, well, I mean, I can say this now, a failed percussionist who thought he was king shit on the snares in high school and then got to college and, couldn't play. He wasn't bitter about it at all, by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, they're the ones that effectively control the pace of the music though, right?
So I mean, technically, that's the drum major. So
Right.
it's a student who's directing the band, but it was generally my experience when I was in high school, at least, that the only people that really watched the band, the drum major, was the percussion section, because they kept the beat and everyone else just listened to percussion to figure out, to stay in time with everything else, which is fine. That
What
works.
did you what did you play?
My freshman year, I played baby bass drum,
Okay.
and then my the rest of my sophomore through senior year, I played the quads, which are now sometimes called quints or tenor drums. It's basically
Mhm.
the multiple drums strapped in front of you. Not a snare drum, right? That's
Right.
yeah. So I played the tenor, the quads, whatever you want to call them.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could still play?
Some things I probably could. I'm probably nowhere near as good as I was, but I could. I could do some basic stuff. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just, that's not like, I had friends that were in band, and obviously I have been to football games and seen a band play.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't understand the depths of kind of how that all worked.
Yeah.
So that was pretty enlightening. And I think it's super cool that both your kids are into it and that you did it, and it's all something that you guys can do together, right?
Yeah.
I think that's super cool, man.
Yeah.
You have to let me know when his fourth one is. Maybe it's something I can come down and check out. I'm very interested to see it.
Yeah. And we're gonna in 2 years, my daughter will be in the marching band and my son will be a senior, so we'll get 1 year with them both in the same band. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't do anything like that in high school. I just really didn't do much of anything my freshman and sophomore years, and then like my junior and senior years I worked. So I mean, even if I had the desire to do that stuff, I wouldn't have time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, no regrets. It's fine. Like no regrets. Anything else about that before I tell you about my week?
No, I want to hear about your week, your little trip.
Yeah, so we're recording this on a Saturday because I was actually out of town this week. I had to go to New York City to present something at a regional user group.
Okay, I was going to say, was this work or business or pleasure? So business.
This was work.
Yep.
I was there for basically 2 full days. I mean, it's work travel. I mean, listen, I'm not going to bore everybody with how much I hate flying, but what was interesting about this particular trip is this was the first time I had ever been upgraded on a flight to first class. I mean, I have flown first class before, but I actually got my first like actual complimentary upgrade, and it happened both ways. Because I mean, listen, nobody's flying to and from Columbus from New York on a Wednesday, so I mean, I get it.
Got it.
But it makes my travel experience a lot better because the mimosas are free instead of like $12. So when I have my Xanax and wash it down, I can basically pop one of those as I'm walking down the jetway.
Okay.
And when you fly first class, like as you're walking in, where are you sitting? I'm in 4A. Okay, what can I get you? Like they're asking you this as you're sitting down. So like you sort of put your carry-on above you and you put your thing under the seat. You like get your phone and your headphones out, and then boom, mimosa. And
Nice.
that can go all flight until either I pass out or they're like, "Sir, you might have had enough." So that definitely makes the experience a lot better. The work stuff was fine. I will say that my feet are completely destroyed right now because I did not pack comfortable walking shoes, and obviously New York's a very walkable city.
Very much.
We were staying right in the heart of Midtown. Where we were going was a couple blocks over in Midtown, but we did a ton of walking, and I had a newer pair of shoes that I got through Stitch Fix, and they're not broken in at all, and I had really thin socks on. So like by the end of the first day, walking back and forth and going to dinner and everything, like my feet, like I had this huge blister on my right foot that I'm like kind of scared to pop because it's like literally the whole half of my foot, like it's gross, and it was really painful. But I play hurt. I'm a professional. I mean, obviously for me, the highlight of the trip was Thursday night. I got to hang out with the wonderful Eric Darling.
Nice. I was hoping when I heard you're going to Chicago that part of it was getting to see Eric. So that makes me happy.
So we were able to line that up. My original plan was to see if we could have recorded a trio podcast with me and Eric in the same room, especially after we had the dinner we had, because I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But he was actually arriving back from one of his travels that morning. So the coordination of that and me getting over to where he lives and getting back and everything, like it would have been kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, so I got to hang out with Eric, and Eric's, listen, I know that I am not everybody's cup of tea, right? And I could probably count my close friends probably on 2.5 hands.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I like having a smaller group of core close friends, like you and Eric and John Krebs and a few other people that I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna say names. I don't wanna leave anybody out.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. If you listen to this podcast, there's a good chance that you're one of them. Eric's just a great guy. So he had arranged a reservation for us at this place called Keen's Steakhouse in Manhattan.
Okay.
And I wasn't really sure what to expect. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Apparently, it's at a place with a whole lot of history. Paul, I'm going to send you a picture of the meat I ate.
Okay.
If you want to make this the show art, you go ahead.
Ooh,
it's good. It's gonna come on your phone here. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait, it's going to arrive on your phone. Sorry. Let's. Oh, baby, I'm gonna arrive. All right, here.
Okay.
Glass of wine to scale.
Okay, here it is. That's a big piece of meat.
That is prime rib.
Mm-hmm. It looks good.
Yeah, it was a lot. I could not finish it.
Yeah, I can see the salt on there. Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good. Here's a good.
Just dripping with them juices. That looks good.
Yeah, I never. There was a whole thing of juice I could have added to the juice.
Okay.
And plus, here's a picture of Eric. He's having a good time. Yeah, I mean, it was just a fun time, man. We had a great dinner. He basically ordered everything for the table.
Okay.
Listen, Eric is a connoisseur. He knows more about the world than I'll ever know, especially when it comes to fancy dinners. And
right.
It's just good to get caught up, see him in person and hang out, because we hadn't hung out in person since before COVID. And this is just an Eric Darling appreciation part of the podcast. He's just a good dude. And he bought me dinner, which was super nice. Oh,
very nice.
Yeah. I owe him. And we got caught up on stuff. We talked about work and what he's got going on, what I got going on, and that was really good. And like I said, the work stuff was good. I got upgraded again on the way home.
Ooh.
I texted a whole bunch of people because the plane was bumpy, and Delta gives you free messaging, which I'm sure I annoyed the hell out of some people with, like, I'm gonna die. That's a thing. That's a thing you can get from me in the air.
Great. That's great. Okay.
You've been spared that so far. Yeah.
Oh.
It was good. It was really nice. And, what the other interesting thing that I found out about New York this time is I've been to New York half a dozen times now. And New York has, let's call it a vibe. But what I really mean is a smell.
Most cities do have a stink of some sort. Yes. Yeah.
But what was fascinating this time is that the overarching smell that I smelled when I was there was weed. Literally everywhere I walked in Times Square, I smelled weed.
Is it?
I didn't smell pee. I didn't smell booze. I didn't smell cigarettes. I didn't smell garbage or sewage or subway or oil or anything. Yeah. Like, even down in the subway stations, because I took the subway to and from the airport both ways because it was just the most efficient and fast and cheapest way to get there. I just weed everywhere. There's just so much weed.
Yeah.
It was, and I even asked Eric about it, and they're like, yeah, it's just how it is now. And one of my coworkers lives in Brooklyn, and I asked him about it. I'm like, is weed legal in New York? And I just don't realize it. And they're like, the police really don't enforce. If you're walking around smoking like a joint or something, they'll just tell you to put it out. Like, they won't really go after you for it. I just don't think it's a priority for them, which, it's New York. I'm sure they got other crimes to worry about.
I mean, fun fact, in Columbus proper, that's the same way that they treat marijuana there too. So yeah.
Oh, really? I've never. I guess I haven't spent a lot of time in downtown Columbus. At least I guess places maybe that's not a problem. I don't know.
Yeah. Basically, if you're not carrying enough to be considered trafficking, they don't care. Now, granted, you're not legally allowed to buy it or sell it, but if for some reason you just found it in the street or something,
yeah,
you're fine. Yeah.
So, well, it's funny you say that, because there have been times where I have picked people up at the airport, and I'll be sort of like cruising through waiting for someone to come out the arrivals door, and like I'll pull over and help someone load a bag, and someone will just be out at the curb smoking a joint at an airport. I'm just like, I was like, did you bring that on a plane? Like you're at the arrivals.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't think I have the cojones to do that.
I don't, because last time I was in Seattle, I really wanted to bring home some of the edibles from there, and people say they do it all the time. They're individually wrapped, and I read into it, and basically the TSA won't stop you for doing it, but they might call your law enforcement where you're landing.
Got it. Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where if I had a bag of edibles, maybe they don't care, but I'm not. If I'm going to break the law, I'm going to bring home like a dozen bags.
Right, exactly.
And I think that might be a problem.
And like, so you never know with the TSA why they're going to stop you for something stupid, or why they're going to want to open your bag, or like, it's just, there's too much unpredictability there. So I don't know. I'm not brave enough.
Well, what's interesting is, I don't know if we ever talked about this, but I have global entry now.
Okay.
Because when I got my fancy credit card, it came with an offer. It was like, hey, if you sign up for global entry, which also gives you TSA pre-check, and you use this card, you basically get a rebate, right? You basically get whatever you spend back. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was able to get my interview done when I flew back from Israel. So I have pre-check now, and they just don't give a shit in that line. Like, you don't have to take a laptop out. You don't got to. Sometimes you don't even have to take your jacket off. You don't have to take your shoes off. Like I mean, you just literally put your shit on the belt and go, which is great. And every time I've used it so far, it's been very efficient. But yeah, even in that line, like there was a family when I was traveling from Columbus to New York. They had a very, very young baby, and they had the stroller and all these bags, and They had some extra scrutiny that held everybody up, but for the most part, I mean, I've only ever had my bag held up once, but I don't know. Anyway, good trip. Good. I mean, nothing exciting other than to say that I just really liked hanging out with Eric. Last topic is a holdover from last week. This is something I found on Kickstarter. It is called Menor.
Yes.
Menor? Is that how you say it?
I didn't watch the video to learn how it was pronounced. So
what this is I understand it correctly, is this is a project that will let you basically create worlds for your campaigns, like your tabletop campaigns, because a lot of people are playing tabletop RPGs digitally these days. I know most people are probably back to in person, but during the COVID days, this, there was software that you use, which you should probably talk about. I think you have talked about it, so I don't know if you want to or not.
Yeah.
It's for basically hosting like D&D or other tabletop games. So what this looks like to me is, if you need a dungeon or you need like an overworld type thing, this is a procedurally generated thing that generates a 3D world for what you want to do. It is software, and if I understand it correctly, the software will be free, but where they will make their money is in the different tile sets or textures or object packs or things that you can put into it.
Yes. Yeah.
And it comes with a full suite of virtual tabletop tools. I saw this and I thought this looked really cool, and we didn't get to it, and you said that you had thoughts, so unsell me on this.
So this is not there's another piece of software out there that tries to do something different. I can't remember what the name of it is. You can buy it on Steam. I think so. If this is exactly what gets you to play tabletop role playing games with your friends, that's fine. You go it, whatever brings people into the hobby, I support 100%. This is not for me. I think this makes tabletop role playing games feel too much like a video game.
Okay.
I think there's more room, should be more room for imagination at a tabletop role playing game than, like having something like this. I also think tools like this make it harder to improv, though this one seems to try to handle some of that by like it seems to have some tools for automatically generating stuff at the last minute, and like it claims you can build a whole region in seconds. So I think they're trying to get through that, but I don't want something like this in my games. That's just me personally. Like I think it's a little too much. But like I said, like if this is, or like maybe this is something I would use for like big events, or like finales or climaxes or things. Maybe that's something I would use all the time, though I think right now it's Windows only, so that takes me right out. But again, like if this is what brings people into the hobby or makes people excited, like go nuts. It's just not how I want to play online tabletop role playing games.
See, yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying there, but the more detail that I can kind of see, and that's why I don't get me wrong, I like the tools that you use to host what you have, because it does give you a map, right? And like the software you used even had like the dynamic lighting and fog of war type stuff, which was cool. But what I like about this is it does that, and it does give you a little more detail in terms of like the objects and the 3D space that you're sort of existing in. What I like about this is the procedurally generated part. Like I need a forest, right? And every time I'm in the forest, maybe it could be a different forest. Like I think that part of it looks cool. The only thing that really turned me off about this is that right now it looks like everything is mostly medieval.
Yeah, they're focusing on fantasy right now.
Yeah. If they do something modern for this, I would probably try to run something like Shadowrun in this.
Yeah.
But and my God, the pledge levels of this thing, did you see them all?
I really haven't looked. Let's see.
There's $1,000 pledge level.
Holy crap. What do you get in the $1,000 pledge? Is that like we're gonna give you everything we ever do ever?
Yeah, unlimited number. So basically, so the software is going to be free when it officially launches. But if you want to get into closed beta, you need to back at a higher level. I think you need to back at least at the 99. No, the 59 euro level.
Okay. Yep.
And you can bring one guest in, but if you go to higher, you can have more guest invites in. And it looks like you get some packs or something, but I mean, if it's going to be free, I'll download it, right? I mean, I don't say when it's going to launch, but they have definitely met their goal. I mean, they only wanted 44 grand and they're coming up on 540 grand. So they've met their goal. I'll give them that.
Yeah. I just want to like, let's see. We're working a solution to use Minier. I'm gonna call it Minier.
Okay, Minier sounds
I don't know,
better.
in a browser, but it'll require access to your computer through a distance or a paid service for cloud computing. Okay, you can use a double screen. Okay, so I'm not gonna buy a PC to play this.
Oh no, and that would be funny.
Oh no, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I mean, maybe this is the topic for next week, but it definitely is a topic for this week. So we're already at over an hour, but man, I've been really diving into like cyberpunk again.
Okay, well segue. I have homework for us, and maybe you've already done it.
Okay.
Apparently, we need to watch Edge Runners.
I'm about halfway through it.
Okay, I haven't started.
Okay.
So homework for next week. I'm gonna try to. Tomorrow is gonna be a lazy day. I'm gonna try to binge Edge Runners tomorrow.
Okay.
But to your point, apparently that anime has completely like revitalized the video game.
It has.
There's like all kinds of mods and stuff now. So I've been thinking about doing another playthrough of Cyberpunk now that they've had a lot of time to sort of fix some shit.
I'm actually doing that right now.
Okay. I'm glad you brought it up. So homework for next week is to watch Edge Runners, and then we'll talk about it next week.
Okay. Yep.
Let me just ask you this: have you liked it so far? Because I hear it's amazing.
I am generally speaking not an anime fan. And everything I dislike about it is the over the top, very anime parts of it.
Okay.
But it is cyberpunk at the end of the day, and that part is awesome. So yeah. I enjoy it more than I don't enjoy it. I'll say that. Yeah.
Okay. So the story's good then.
So far, yep.
Okay, that's going to be our homework. But like you said, we're a little bit over, so let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, we're on the internet, doingbtherbest.com, on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor, and where can we find you, Drew?
I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pittfurg.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening.